so the main ingredient for our falafel is chickpeas, specifically dried chickpeas. Put 1.5 cups of dried chickpeas in a large bowl and cover them with a generous amount of water. Then let them sit for at least 12 hours and up to 24 hours at room temperature. After a good soak, they should swell up to about double their original size. Once you're done soaking them, just give them a quick rinse and drain them well. You might be wondering, but unfortunately you can't use canned chickpeas in their place. They look pretty similar, but as you can see, the canned ones are really soft while the soaked ones are much firmer. You need that firmness to get a good texture without having to resort to binders like flour in your finished falafel. We also have a large yellow onion, 4 cloves of garlic, and about 1 cup each of fresh parsley and cilantro. If you have them available, you can throw in some scallions, fresh mint, or other fresh herbs. Just give everything a rough chop into some manageable chunks. Everything is going into the food processor soon, so don't go overboard. Finally, we have some spices. I'm going to use a tablespoon of coriander seeds, a teaspoon of cumin seeds, and a teaspoon of black peppercorns. Toast them over medium heat until they turn a little brown and aromatic. Then transfer them to a mortar and pestle or a spice grinder and grind them into a fine powder. You can use powdered spices in their place if you'd rather not do this step. Depending on the size of your food processor, you probably want to work in batches. Just have a large stainless steel or glass bowl on hand to transfer your mixture to once it's done. I'm doing 2 batches, so I'm going to put half of my chickpeas, onions, garlic, herbs, and spices, along with half a teaspoon of kosher salt into the bowl of the food processor. Process for a minute or 2 and scrape the sides of the bowl down periodically. You want the mixture to look kind of like coarse aquarium sand, so you should have a bit of visible texture still. Just make sure to check frequently so you don't overprocess. Transfer your mixture to a bowl and repeat with the remaining ingredients. Stir everything together just to make sure it's evenly combined, then cover your bowl with plastic wrap and refrigerate for at least 2 hours and up to a full day. Now that our falafel mix is ready, it's a perfect time to make some fresh pita. In a large mixing bowl, stir together 175 grams of bread flour and 175 grams of whole wheat flour. Then add a tablespoon of sugar, a teaspoon and a half of kosher salt, and 2 teaspoons of instant yeast and stir it all together. Next, we want to add 240 grams or just over a cup of lukewarm water. Stir it in batches and then add 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. Mix that all together until just combined and no dry flour remains, then cover and let it rest for about 10 minutes. Then knead your dough for about 2 or 3 minutes, either in the bowl or on a floured counter, adding just a little flour if it starts to get really sticky. Cover, let it rest for another 10 minutes, then knead for 2 or 3 more minutes. The dough should be slightly tacky and smooth. Cover the dough with a little bit of olive oil, then cover the bowl and let it rest in a warm place until doubled in volume. This should take about an hour. Meanwhile, preheat your oven to 475 degrees and place a baking steel, stone, or large cast iron skillet on the middle rack. Remove the dough and transfer it to a floured surface. Lightly flour the top and divide into 6 equal pieces. Form the pieces into rough balls like so. Once you're finished, roll each ball into a disc that's about 6 or 7 inches in diameter. Flour the work surface and dough as necessary to keep it from sticking. Once your dough is all rolled out, cover the pitas with a damp cloth and let them rest for about a half hour. Open your oven, transfer 1 to 3 pita to the baking surface, and close the oven. They bake really quickly, so don't overcrowd your baking surface. Bake for 2 minutes, then flip with a spatula and bake for 1 more minute. Transfer the baked pitas to a plate lined with clean kitchen towels and cover them. The pitas will naturally deflate, but the pocket will remain. Don't worry if some of them don't puff up fully. You can usually still cut the pocket open, and even if you can't, they'll still taste good. Now let's make a simple tahini sauce. I'm going to start by juicing a lemon and transferring the juice to a small measuring cup. Next, finely mince a clove of garlic and mix it with the lemon juice right away. Now add some tahini or sesame paste until you have about 1/2 cup in volume. Add some cracked black pepper, stir together, and season to taste with soy sauce or kosher salt. Then add a little bit of water to thin it out until it reaches a thick but flowing consistency. Cover with plastic wrap and refrigerate for up to a week. I'm also going to make some zhug. This is a spicy and herby sauce that tastes great with falafel, but it's completely optional. or toasting and grinding more spices to start. This time it's 2 teaspoons of coriander, a teaspoon of cumin, and seeds from 3 green cardamom pods. Again, if you'd rather not bother with this step, feel free to use pre-ground spices instead. Add a cup each of fresh cilantro and parsley to the bowl of a food processor. Then add your spices, a half teaspoon of kosher salt, a few cracks of black pepper, and a teaspoon or 2 of chili flakes. Process for a minute or 2 and scrape the sides down every so often. Once the herbs are pretty finely chopped, drizzle in some olive oil until the mixture emulsifies. Its color will change from dark green to this lighter, creamy green color when that happens. Taste your mixture and even out the seasoning to your liking. You can use sugar, salt, and vinegar, or lemon juice to get a balance that works for you. Transfer it to a glass container, cover, and refrigerate for up to a week. Now it's finally time to fry our falafel. If you really don't want to fry it, you can bake it in a 400-degree oven. Just grease a baking sheet with olive oil spray, form your falafel into small oblong patties, and bake for about 15 minutes on each side. I will say that fried falafel tastes much better. Heat about 2 inches of a neutral-tasting oil over medium heat in a sturdy pan. I like to use a wok because the tapered shape lets you get away with using a little bit less oil, but any deep pan is fine. Throw in a few crumbs of your falafel mixture, and if it rises to the surface and starts to bubble quickly, your oil is ready. Use your hands to form the falafel into balls somewhere between the size of ping pong and golf balls, and fry 3 to 5 at a time depending on the size of your pan. If the balls don't submerge completely, add a little more oil or just turn them over once the lower part looks fully cooked. The falafel should take 5 or 10 minutes to turn a deep golden brown. Adjust your heat so they don't brown too quickly, otherwise they'll wind up undercooked in the center. Remove the falafel from the oil with a spider or slotted spoon, then transfer to a plate or baking sheet lined with paper towels. Now assemble your sandwiches. Each half pita should fit about 3 or 4 falafel balls. Layer with sauces and toppings of your choice. I'm using red onion, cucumber, and tomatoes here, but they're also great with lettuce, pickles, or really any fresh vegetables. Enjoy! If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like, consider subscribing to the channel, and let me know in the comments section if you have any questions or you'd like to see any other specific recipes in the future.